There's no.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Powder Room. I am C, the strategist. This is our 11th episode. Special welcome to all our first timers, and welcome back to those who have been joining us. If it's your first time joining us, whether on Facebook or YouTube, drop a comment by saying first timer. Let's see who wins, the Facebook people or the YouTube people. As usual, I'm not alone. I have my sisters here with me. But before I introduce them, let me remind us what Powder Room is. Powder Room is a private space in the public place where you can let your hair down, have honest conversations, gain uncommon sense, and get yourself together to face the world with truth, tact, and tenacity. So, my Powder Room ladies, let's see Casey the realist.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good to be here today. How are
You're
we all
looking hot.
doing? Thank you, C. You're looking amazing too. It's good to be in the
Thank
powder room
you.
tonight.
Thanks. Cara the wordsmith. Ara, what's your aim today? Lady in red. Whoa. Whoa, okay.
Yes.
What a nice
We're late. We're late. Very important.
Yeah. Ruthie the
Hi,
prof.
guys.
Ruthie the prof. Hi. Ruthie, you're mute.
Hi, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the powder room this evening.
Ada the Sage.
God. Hi, everyone. This Zoom has a way of making someone think that everybody can hear him. Meanwhile, you're muted. I've never seen it. It's so funny. Hi, guys. Welcome to today's episode.
Okay, good to see all of you again. As if we didn't see earlier today. We're always together one way or the other. All right, so today's topic is shut your mouth. Okay, before I get into it, our viewers, can you tell us what you did during the week after our last episode? Last episode was so interesting. We discussed home hacks. So tell us in the comment section what you did, what home hacks you practiced, and how you found it, so that we can, share some more thoughts with you in another episode. So just share with us what you did during the week. And now, shut your mouth. I'm sure when we announce the topic, people are wondering, what shut your mouth? Is it stop talking too much, or is it stop, shut your mouth because of coronavirus? But let me explain. Shut your mouth is about food and health, okay? This is a very important topic for all of us. A lot of us have challenges when it comes to obesity, weight loss, and all that. And, generally, there's a connection between food and health. Karachi has a finger up. You have a question?
No, when you said a lot of us have problems with maintaining our weight, I just confessed,
With this, your popping.
I identify.
All right. I identify too. So shut your mouth is about food and health. No doubt there's a connection between what we ingest and our health. And guess what? We have a very special guest. How many of you know Lepacious Bose? Just drop a comment in the comment section if you know her. So Lepacious Bose was very gracious to agree to be part of today's episode. So we're so excited. Lepacious Bose, shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. However, she's in another session right now, so she's not joining us live, but she graciously prepared a special video for Powder Room. And we're going to listen to her now. Everyone, listen tight, take your notes, and then we'll come back and discuss the topic, shut your mouth. Ruthie. Okay, so we're going to play Lepacious Bose's video, and she shared a few things, about her challenges and her weight loss journey, a very amazing journey. And after that, ladies in the powder room are actually going to share different things, okay? We're going to address the topic from, the 4 W's. In a lot of topics, people talk about the 4 W's. So we're going to talk about the why, what, how, when. No, not the 4 W's, 3 W's and 1 H. Why, what, how, when. So we're talking about how food and health could be connected to why you eat, could be connected to what you eat, and how you eat, and when you eat. So the ladies of the powder room are going to do that. But guess what? To make it more fun, all of us have our forks and knives. Hello, everyone. Could you click? Who can guess what we're using this for? Comments in the section.
Mine is not making, mine is not clicking. No.
It's fake. It's fake. It's those plastic ones that they call us silver.
It's not clicking.
Okay, so we're
it's not clicking.
Okay.
Actually, I saw someone commented about her experience last week, Saturday, on one of the hacks we shared.
Yeah.
Did you
What,
read that?
what did she say?
She said, I think it was Chiaka, one of our viewers. She said that she actually boiled lemon all around her house. And then that it really gave a good fragrance. But then she now got carried away and ended up with a burnt pot. So now she's in a fix because her pot is burnt completely. So Chiaka, let me give you another tip. Lemon would actually take that scar and that stain away. So what you need to do is squeeze another lemon in, pour water and boil it, just as if you're boiling a pot of water. It will lift up all of those stains. And then someone sent us an email in hello@powder room. She said, one of our viewers, she said that after she had her second child, she noticed that under her boobies had a smell. She said she would have her bath, but it would seem like the smell had gone once she comes out of the bathroom and dresses. In fact, she even had to ask her husband, like, smell it, is it? But the guy said, I can't smell anything. She was very conscious of that odor. So she raised it up in a group, a sister's group. And someone said, go and wash your bra, go and wash your underwear, maybe you're not. And she felt so bad until someone reached out to her and said to her, try using lemon under it. She said that's how she cut lemon and rubbed under, the lifted up her and then rubbed the lemon juice. And that was the end of that smell,
Wow.
So that's just a feedback. There's so much that lemon can do. And then Karachi.
Yeah, I saw Kara's lemon sugar on Facebook. Yeah. It was so beautiful.
I loved it.
Yeah, so keep doing the home hacks. Of course, for those of you that are wondering what we're referring to is last week's episode, and it's here on our page. So subscribe and you can watch it. So let's have lepacious Bose. I'm going to play her video. It's in 2 parts. Just listen. Okay.
What's up with the volume?
She want to share the sound, the screen sound.
Yeah.
I've been asked to do a video. I hope my video makes some sense to you. Hello everyone, how are you? My name is lepacious Bose, and honestly, I'm so sorry I cannot join you on your YouTube show. But I've been asked to do a video. I hope my video makes some sense to you. But I hope that I'm able to inspire 1 or 2 people with this video. I'd like to say that I have always been an overweight person. From maybe 13 or 14. Up until that time, I was extremely skinny, and then I started putting on weight gradually. And as I started putting on the weight, I thought it was cool, I was all right because I was always a skinny kid, and everybody abused me about being a skinny kid, So when I started putting on the weight, I thought it was a good thing. And I remember then that my brother would always say, "Boss, you're looking for trouble. This is not right. Nobody should be this big and blah 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 blah." And I used to think, "Oh, get out!" All these ITK kind of people that feel that they know everything. But gradually, and as the days went by, the weight wasn't going down. And I started getting more depressed and more unhappy. And the more unhappy I got, the more I ate, And really, I wasn't really a foodie, food person. I was a junkie, that kind of person that would have rice at home and have poundo at home and all that. But I would still go out and buy biscuits, and I would wake up in the middle of the night as 2 a.m. in the morning to be drinking Coca-Cola and all that. So when people tell me weight has nothing to do with food, I tell you, please trace your food back, because you never really know what it is. It's not about sitting down to eat a bowl of eba. It's about the quality of what you're putting in your body. Because I mean, who would wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning to be drinking to be drinking Coca-Cola? And I don't know if you guys remember, or you in Nigeria long enough to have the big bottle of Coca-Cola, that glass big bottle, that 1 liter. Ha ha ha. It's people like us that put them in business in those days. I mean, it was always in my freezer, and the older you got, the more comfortable you got, financially comfortable you got, the more you are able to buy. And and after a while, I started living on my own terms. Less 20 becomes too tight, you just go and buy size 22. Before you know it, one day I woke up and I was size 32. And I was size 32. And not only was I size 32, I was 210 kg. I had gone past anybody. There was no help coming from anywhere, and I had not seen my period for 3 years. I had not menstruated for 3 years, and not menstruating also meant that doctors recommended hormonal pills for me that induced the period. And I can't even remember the name of the pill now, but I was taking the pill and it was helping to induce the period, and so I have my blood flow. The side effect of this was that it was making me get bigger, but I did not realize that. And also the side effect of this was also it made me feel more depressed and more unhappy, because I mean you're putting on weight and you did not know. Another side effect was that it was horribly painful every time my period comes, because now it's like you are forced to come out. So the pain was terrible, the blood clot was horrible, it was just terrible back to back. Anyway, I finally got to the point where I knew I needed help, thanks to my 10-year-old nephew at that time. I think Simi is now going to be 18, who gave me the wake-up call. I mean, I was just lying down one day, and he just walked in and said, "Auntie Bossy, are you okay?" And I said, "I'm fine." And he said, "No, you're not fine, because you're breathing funny." I've said this story on all platforms. I mean, he said, "You're breathing funny." And I said, "What do you mean breathing funny?" He said, "You're breathing like your heart is about to stop." And that was the first time it hit me. I mean, everybody had spoken, everybody had always spoken. My father had spoken, my mother had spoken, my friends had spoken. There were people that had spoken to me about my weight that I knew they were talking out of love, but then they sounded harsh. I felt they didn't understand my problem. They didn't understand my battles and all that. So instead of me being able to confide exactly how I felt with them, I was angry at them. I felt they were judging me because they didn't really understand my pain. Because really and truly, my weight, apart from the fact that I was eating the wrong things, my weight also had a lot to do with hormonal imbalance, PCOS, thyroid issues, and all that. All this, by the way, I did not know at that time. I didn't know at that time. I found out all this when I started seeking for information, when I started seeking for knowledge, when I knew something was wrong with me. Why is this not working? Why does this work for everybody and it's not working for me? Why am I not losing weight? Why is my body rejecting this? Why does everybody else drink lemon and warm water and it's not working for me? Why does everybody else take apple cider vinegar and it's not working for me? Why can't I do keto like everybody? So when I started asking all the questions, I started seeing these explanations to my challenges. Anyway, long and short of the story, my nephew's question talk hit me, from a child's heart, and I went into the bathroom and I cried all my heart out. But for the first time, I was not crying out of self-pity. I was not crying out of oh God, why have you done this to me? I wasn't crying from that point. I was crying from God, I need help. Please note that I'm somebody that I'd bought pills and stuff to kill myself like two or three times to commit suicide, and I would sit down and I would look at it and I would cry for hours because I lacked the courage to take my own life. Not because I didn't want to take my own life, I didn't care. I was ready to take my own life. I was just thinking that should I suffer this much on earth and still go to hell? Because the Bible says that if you commit suicide, you go to hell. So I was thinking, okay, life has been harsh on me. Should I now commit suicide and go to hell again? You understand? And most importantly, I also felt that my dad had just 2 kids, and I didn't think he would survive losing one child, so so it was a tough decision for me. It wasn't like but honestly, I keep telling people, if my dad had 4 kids or 5 kids or 3 kids, I would have been dead, because I would have felt it's fine, nothing missing, nothing they happen. I would have walked away and it would have been fine. But because I had to consider my parents, that helped me to stay, and that's why I keep telling my parents thank you. They don't understand why I tell them thank you, but thank you. I thank them for giving me a chance at a second life, because I didn't even realize how down or how deeply in the mud I had gotten, and how far I had gotten away from help, and so fast forward to when I started trying to lose weight. Of course, now I'm this scale. This scale cannot weigh anything above 180 kg. So if this scale is saying, hello everyone, how are you? My name is lepacious bose, and honestly, I'm so sorry I cannot join you on your YouTube ready. Somehow everything just started falling in place. I mean, my brother came in with the phone number of a doctor. My sister came in with a dietitian's description, and we started going from one hospital to the other to talk to this person, a physician that dealt specifically with hormones and all that, and we also had to meet with the ones that had to help me reset my hormonal balance and fix everything back in place. And still my hormones are not balanced, but then at least there was a process. And now this was the very interesting thing. Almost every physical test I did on hormonal imbalance came back negative. Almost every test I did about thyroid came back negative. So I was one of those weird people that had all the symptoms, but the test showed negative. I don't know if you have ever even with COVID now, I'm hearing people have that. They have all the symptoms of COVID, but they don't have COVID. They go and do the test, and the test says they are negative, but they've done all the tests. That was how my case was. And so it was a bit tough. So the first decision the doctor helped me to make was, okay, whatever the test says, it does not matter. You need to face the reality that you do have hypothyroidism. It does not matter what the test says, because you already have all the symptoms. It can't get any worse than this. So I started to challenge my weight loss journey as somebody that had hypothyroidism and worked with that knowledge. So of course, like I always tell people, you can't do weight loss without doing the detox. And this is my 8th year on the journey, and I can tell you guys for free, every time I still have to do a detox, I cry. Detox is the toughest part of this whole journey. Forget that we do it smiling and laughing and all that. But the point is, people ask me, why was this particular time different? Why was this particular time a success? Why was this particular time what made the difference? And I keep telling them that it was because this was the one time I decided not to give up myself. This was the one time I decided we die here. You understand? So although, and don't forget, I was 210 kg, so there was no scale. I bought scale 3 times, and I kept returning them to the pharmacy and telling them that the scale was not working, but it was showing error. And I would not forget the look of pity on the face of the pharmacist when she had to call me to a corner the 3rd time I went to return the scale and said, "Auntie, there's nothing wrong with this scale. This scale cannot weigh anything above 180 kg. This scale cannot weigh anything above 180 kg. So if this scale is saying error, that means you are over 180 kg. There was a look of pity, there was a look of shame, even as she spoke to me, that got to me like never before. And those were the moments when I knew that no, it can't go on like this. Don't forget that I was a comedian that was making money from cracking fat jokes. I was always cracking jokes about being fat and all that. But suddenly comedy wasn't funny anymore. Being fat wasn't funny anymore. I just needed to fix this. And here I am. years after that, I was my biggest at 210 kg. And when I lost weight, finally, I was at 90 kg. So I had lost like about 110 kg thereabout, or 120 kg thereabout. And then I started getting complacent, and then I started doing my things back the way I was doing it, and eating the way I was doing before. And I was thinking, oh, I got there. I know how to undo this, how to do all the things right. And then I woke up one day and I was 140 kg again. And I was like, wow, how did I get here? And if I don't quickly put this back into perspective, I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to be back to 210 kg. And this is one place I don't ever want to go back to in my life. And then I started all over again. Starting all over again is the toughest part. I think losing weight the first time, hard as it may be, is easier than actually keeping it off. It's easier than actually starting all over again, because starting over again was tougher for me. It was a tougher job, because now I had to start all over again and I had to go back to the basics. And but then we're here now, and I'm about 100 kg. So I don't think I want to ever be 90 kg again. I really was not looking very healthy then. So I think I'm where I want to be. I don't want to be thin. I want to be sculptured, have hips, I have boobs, have waist, have neck, which I never had before, so I hope I've been able to say something reasonable to you guys. I don't know. What are my most important tips? Yes, one, when you start your weight loss journey or whatever project you're doing in life, try as much as possible to keep it to yourself. I discovered that keeping my stories to myself when I started was the easiest thing. Was the best thing I ever did. It was not easy, but it was wise, because I had all those people that were waiting to tell me why I cannot do it, or how I cannot do it, or they were waiting for me to fail. And I cannot blame them, because they've seen me fail so many times that they could not expect me to succeed. And so I realized that every time they made those statements that showed that I cannot succeed, or automatically I accept it in my heart, and I don't allow myself to succeed as well. And so it's best not to tell anybody when you're on a weight loss journey. Aren't you eating rice? No, I don't want. Thank you very much. Don't you want some juice? That's not like you. Don't you want juice? No, today I'm just staying away from juice, Cherry. I had enough yesterday. Like that. You keep going like that. The best result for weight loss is when people see it themselves. Because when you tell them you're on a weight loss journey, they are the ones that will tell you, is it the one you eat today that will kill you? Eat your, don't mind them. They are the same ones that will tell you, oh, you are big bone though. Not everybody they are the same ones that will come and tell you, oh, you are following all these people. It's a lie. Some of them did surgery. They are lying to you. They are the same ones that will come and tell you, oh, you better eat. That's how you say you were on diet last month. This month again, you're back. I beg, let's hear what you have been dieting. Have you ever lost weight? So before you know it, you get discouraged, and they pull you down. There are also some people who feel that they cannot achieve it, and because they don't want to be the only non-achievers, they want to keep you in the same WhatsApp group. So they discourage you so that you can all be many in the WhatsApp group of failure. So they can't comprehend why you should succeed. So they stand and they encourage you to stay down. And that's why you should keep it to yourself. 2, find an accountability partner, or you find a coach. I didn't have anybody I could trust. I didn't have anybody I could also look up to. I got a fitness instructor. I got a dietitian/nutritionist, and of course I got the doctor that was following up on my hormonal stuff and all that. So I had these people to fall back on, and they also helped me to realize that there is a lot to do with your psychology, your psyche, your mental state, and all that. Eventually, I still had to see a psychologist, and then I still had to see a, what do they call them, neurosurgeon, and it wasn't a neuro something, but people that deal with your brain. I had to do a brain scan for me, and that was when they discovered that I was in the highest level of depression, and all that was when you see somebody that has a bowl of in it, I knew I was destroying myself. I knew this was wrong for me, but I couldn't help myself. Yes, that was how bad my case was. So getting out of that also had to do with a lot of psychological thinking. I had to learn the power of affirmation. I tell people everything they taught me in Bible school, everything I learned in church did not compare to what I learned on my weight loss journey. Because my weight loss journey, I found that I was a work of faith. Now scale, there's no scale to weigh if you are 210 kg. So I didn't know whether I was losing weight or not, but I just kept doing it. I just kept doing it because I had gotten to that point where I felt this is the only thing to do. There's nothing else to do. So you can't even give up now. You just have to try. You just have to continue doing it, So do that and get a good support system. My biggest support system was my family. My parents were there. My brother, my sister-in-law, they were my support system. Any outside my family were excluded. Oh yeah. And of course my friend Owenchi and his wife, they were the only ones that were not part of my immediate family that knew exactly what was going on. And so they supported me, and they had to know, because so many times I spent because I wanted to stay out of depression, I'll go to their house to spend the night so that I'm not alone in the house at night, so that I'm not thinking or binging. So of course when I go to their house, they will have to know that, okay, Bose can't eat this, she can't eat that, she can't eat that. So all that is very important as well. But you have to choose your circle very, very carefully, so you don't have anybody that will sabotage what you're trying to achieve. Another thing I found out was that eating fruits after 4 p.m. was not wise, because a lot of fruits have sugar in them, and then of course you think that you are sorting yourself out and you are settling down. So fruits was better for me during the day, so I did my fruits as breakfast most of the time. And you see a lot of people trying to lose weight, and in the night you find yourself eating pineapple or banana in the night, and then you see some people telling you that they're on a weight loss journey, they are doing a detox and they're eating a whole bunch of banana. One piece of banana is about 115 calories. A bunch of bananas is over 1,000 calories. You have 1,200 calories to play with in a day. So in that bunch of banana, you have already finished all your calorie. You understand? So my biggest, after that first secret, my second weight loss secret is knowledge. Seek knowledge, seek information, do your research, read more, ask questions, get a nutritionist if you don't have time to do all that, to teach you all the things that you need to know, get an instructor and all that, and then know that this is a lifetime journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you think it's a sprint, you're going to get frustrated. If it's something you want to start in January, you want to lose 50 kg between January and March, you will get frustrated on the journey. But if you look at it as something that you're going to do for the rest of your life anyway, so the once in a while when you feel like taking a bowl of ice cream, well, that's life. But if you want to do everything in 3 months, then you cut off ice cream, you cut off biscuits, you cut off water, you cut off this, you cut off that, and then you're drinking only water, for example, and then you wake up one day after 3 months and you have only lost 3 kg, you will get frustrated now and you go back to your process. But if you're doing things gradually and slowly, knowing fully well that it's all a matter of time, then you will get results. Like I tell people, if you eat clean, you eat healthy, you do your minimal exercise. Not everybody is going to be a fitness guru. You do your minimal exercise, you eat properly, you eat healthy, you drink enough water, you sleep your 8 hours sleep, or at least 6 hours a day, you sleep well, you avoid stress, you avoid depression, you pray. Nobody can lose weight without praying. And when I say praying, I mean looking for an higher force. Even unbelievers, Oyinbos that tell you that there is no God, they meditate. That means that they believe that there's a force that is stronger than us, that is helping us. They will tell you that there's no God. They don't go to church. They don't go to mosque. Well, who are they meditating to? They will say to the universe. Who created the universe is God. So even when they try to fight and resist that there's God, there's still that element of understanding that there's a stronger force. You understand? So nobody can lose weight without that, depending on that stronger force and asking for help from that force above all of us. So if you do all these things and you do them consistently, it may take time. You may not lose weight as fast as your friend. You may not lose weight within 1 month. You may not lose all the weight within 2 months. But as sure as there's morning and there's night, as long as there's light and there's day, that weight will come down. It may take a while, but it will come down. I had been on my weight loss journey for 3 years, and the first time, and for that 3 years, I was wearing my boo-boos and my kaftans. I didn't have money to change clothes now anyway. So I was still wearing my boo-boos, my kaftan, my big clothes, and people didn't notice I was losing weight under all those. goes like, oh, how did it happen? How did I? No. We slept last night. She was fat, and we woke up this morning and she's slim. And that was very interesting for me. So, make sure that you're consistent with what you're doing. You do what you're doing. You take your time in getting there. I mean, it took me, for anything that was visible to happen, it took me like 3 to 4 years. Okay, 3 to 4 years of consistently doing the same thing. Now, this is the very funny part I have to say. I remember when I started, I had to sleep. I had to take sleeping pills. I had to take sleeping pills almost every night for the first 6 months, because I was waking up in the middle of the night, starving, hungry, and I would cry and cry and cry, knowing that I could not eat. I had to also give up watching series, because I loved watching series. And now when you're watching series, you want to watch it until the point where you cannot watch it anymore. So at 2 a.m. you are still awake. You want to watch more.
Okay, that's from lepacious bose. Hello, ladies. Are you there? Okay. So we're seeing comments on
that was a powerful one.
Very powerful and very emotional.
Wow.
Loaded. Wow. Amazing.
That woman, the passion's boss, Twale. I salute.
Amazing.
Wow. That was a
210. 200. That's 110 kilos.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow,
like
that lady is carrying she's actually carrying the deliverance of many ladies.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's nothing like seeing someone having an example.
Yeah.
We live in a life where many times we're short of examples. There are people who just talk the talk, but the ability to see someone who has now gone through the journey, it just makes everything easy. I was just shaking my head. Wow. Wow.
Good passion. And I know, I follow her on Instagram. I know she's helping a lot of people. People slide into her DMs and she's helping them. Because of time, I want us to do something, ladies. Okay. So I think
is Kara saying something?
Sorry. See,
yes.
I think what I love about her, was the fact that she's confident enough to share her story. Many times our stories, we like to hide them. We like to do, because it's something that happens mostly in the secrets for obvious reasons. But if you see someone who is bold and kind and, has a heart enough to share the pain in public spaces, that person is celebrated. Yeah. Because that's where the difference of many is, just like what Casey said. So like Pastor's boss said, we salute you, we love you.
Thank you so much, dear sister. You're a soul sister. In fact, Kara, I like the kind part. I put it up in one of my posts once. When you ask people, how did you do this? I don't know why. People do not like to share, step-by-step secrets. You just hear the person, it's God, oh. It's God.
What does that mean?
It's God, oh. My God. And, so I acknowledge the word kind enough, because I believe it's a degree of kindness that would want to make you share things that are deep, in this regard. So it's actually being selfless, it's being kind, because she could have just told any story. She would have said, oh, I was working out, oh, I was doing one thing, to share all of the deep parts, indeed. Thank you so much, Bosse. Thank you, Bosse. You're an amazing soul. Thank you.
So I have a comment on YouTube. Someone says, Neka says, I can relate so much. Wow. I am actually in this position and I have literally given up on my weight. Wow. Don't give up, Neka. Don't give up. I mean, Lepasha's boss's testimony is still evolving. She said she's been on the journey for 3 years, but look at her. Look at her. If you go to our Instagram page, you will see her before and after picture. in our poster, and you can also go to her page on Instagram. You'll see her amazing journey. So because it has happened before for someone, don't give up. And to everyone else out there, if you're struggling, don't give up. It might be other things. It might not just be weight. It might be the health things. For instance, she talked about the issue of blood. She talked about hormonal imbalance. There's so many things women struggle with, even men, and we're not able to speak about them. But guess what? There's help, okay? So let's do all we can to seek help, and let's not give up. Now, there are some myths about obesity and weight loss. So we want to play a short game. And those of you watching us, please join us in the chat. So for each one, just put a number 1, and give your answer. So we're holding a fork and a knife. Right hand, knife. For myth or reality, I will say a sentence and the ladies in the powder room will vote. Knife is for myth. Fork is for reality. No ojoro, because you don't have time. Once I read out the sentence and I say vote, you vote, then I will say the right answer. Those of us in the chat room, knife is for me. Knife is for me. That's false. Fork is for reality. Fact. Myth.
Oh my God.
Fact.
I'm with Ama's fork. I'm with Ama's fork and knife to complement my yellow. So I have
very nice.
Like when you were clicking on yours, mine wasn't making any sound.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, number 1, are we ready to vote? No, Joro,
yes,
those of us viewing us on Facebook and YouTube, just write number 1 and put your answer. You never can tell. When we see the person that has the highest number of correct answers, we might just, decide to give you half of our kingdom. Okay, number 1. Obesity is about willpower, not biology. Obesity is about willpower, not biology. Myth or fact? Vote. Vote. Ada, Casey, you're not voting.
I don't understand the question.
Obesity, is it about willpower, lack of discipline, or there's some biology in it? So obesity is about willpower.
What if it's a hybrid? What if the answer is a hybrid?
Oh, myth or fact, Madam Realist? Vote. 1, 2, 3, go. Obesity is about willpower, not biology. She's voting with 2. It is a myth. You see, it was a blanket statement. It wasn't about maybe or maybe not. It says obesity is about willpower, not biology. It is a myth because obesity is a very complex disorder. Obesity is a very complex disorder with many contributory factors, hormones and all that. Okay, so it's a myth when you say anybody who is obese is indisciplined. Okay. Yeah. Most of these myths, I got them from healthline.com. They're online, healthline.com. Number 2, carbs make you fat. Carbohydrates make you fat. Myth or fact? Vote. Some people want to be checking Google.
Wait, myth reality is what? Fuck, Abby.
Fuck. Yes, carbs make you fat. You have changed your mind.
I understood the question.
It's a myth. You are correct. It's a myth. It is not right that carbs make you fat. There are some healthy carbs, and refined carbs may contribute to weight gain, but it is not carbs that cause fat. Okay, so carbs do not automatically make you fat. There are other things that make you fat. Okay, number 3. Eating breakfast is necessary for weight loss. Eating breakfast is very necessary for weight loss. Myth or fact? You know when they say don't skip breakfast? Is it a myth or a fact that eating breakfast is necessary for weight loss? Okay, it's a myth. Are you sure?
Where's Kara?
You're correct. Kara dropped off network. You're correct. It is a myth. Okay. It says that breakfast, the assumption that breakfast boosts metabolism and you must have breakfast to lose weight is a myth. So the thing is that most people that have breakfast already have healthy habits to help them with maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So that's why people assume that people that eat breakfast are eating because it helps with weight loss. So it's a myth. Okay, another one, that's number 4. 2 more to go. Eating spicy foods helps with weight loss. Eating spicy foods helps with weight loss. Myth or fact? Vote. Yes, I cannot see that for a knife. The myth there for you.
Eating what?
This is the prop. Eating spicy foods helps with weight loss. Myth or fact? You say it's a myth. Okay, Ruthie. Ruthie, why are you not voting?
Our viewers are actively voting.
It is a
People got themselves wrong.
It is a fact. Eating spicy foods could aid weight loss. You didn't know?
How?
Now you know. Go to healthline.com. They explained it there.
Actually, I had an idea, but
Is it that you would be drinking too much water and you will not eat so much? Is it for portion control?
no. Pepper, for example.
Out of time, I'm not going
Pepper.
to explain anything.
Things
Number
like pepper.
5.
Yes.
Yes.
After we explain.
They help, yeah, with weight loss. They curb appetite and they help, digestion. Okay? I'm not a nutritionist, but that's what they said, and I believe it actually. So, those of us in Africa that eat a lot of spicy foods, we should not be fat actually, but it's not a standalone.
So how come we are?
Because there are a lot of other things. It could aid weight loss, but it doesn't mean that all spicy foods will help you be slim. Okay. Number 5, the final one. Using smaller plates to eat can help you with weight loss. So if you eat a smaller plate like this, it could help you with weight loss.
That's a small plate. That's a large plate. That plate is large.
No, it's a sauce. It is a sauce. So using smaller plates helps with weight loss. Myth or fact? Casey says it's a fact. Anna, Ruthie.
It's a fact. Because you trick your mind now.
Yeah. It's a fact, but not for those that go 10 times. It's a fact. If you eat with a smaller plate and you don't go for another helping, it actually helps with weight loss. You're correct.
If not that.
So yes, you say Dada.
I say if not that, it's a yes or a no. A lot of those answers too for me are here, neither here and there.
Absolutely.
Because if like this small plates now, if the person respects himself with one helping, okay, because it actually tricks your mind. But if you're going to go back 15 times,
yes,
then you could have as well locked up a whole big plate.
That's what C said. It ends if you eat only once.
So the Oyinbos that wrote it actually assume that when they say eat with the smaller plate, that means you eat just
only one time.
They don't know what happens in reality. Mommy, can I have some more?
Can I have some more?
Okay, so let's go into it. We just have a few minutes left, but let's share our thoughts, okay? So we said we'll address this topic, talking about why we eat, what we eat, how we eat, and when we eat. So the thing about shutting our mouth, right, is tied to why we eat and all that. So Ada the Sage, tell us about why we eat and how it affects our health. Over to you.
Okay, so first disclaimer, we're not healthcare, we're not dietitians or nutritionists, but we're just sharing our own 2 cents based on our own experiences. So the issue of why we eat, everything in life, you always have to ask yourself the question, why am I doing what I'm doing? Okay, so it was when I actually attended the grief class that my eyes were opened to something called STIRBs. STIRBs are called, the full meaning of STIRBs are short-term energy relieving behaviors, And what are those things? They're activities and things that people indulge in.
Sorry, Ada, repeat. Short-term what?
Short-term energy relieving behaviors, STIRBs. So these are activities that people indulge in that create an illusion that an issue, an underlying issue they are dealing with has been dealt with. Meanwhile, it hasn't been. So what am I saying in simplicity? When people have emotional issues, problems, maybe you're going through trauma, divorce, it could be the loss of a loved one, it could be rejection, all of these things that create negative emotional energy, sometimes even positive energy, but there's a lot of energy building. We are trained, the way they raise us up is to cock issues up. So imagine a steam kettle boiling. A steam kettle has an escape so that when the pressure boils the water, the steam shoots out, and then there's a whistle that lets you know that the water is boiled. But what we have most times is we are trained to put corks and lids. So inside it is an explosion that is just waiting to happen. And that's why a lot of times, sometimes you see yourself exploding over an issue, and there's no proportionality between what you are reacting to and your reaction. That's negative energy. Now, let me bring it into all of these things. When some of those issues happen, what people naturally do is they turn to habits. They turn to different things to help them relieve themselves. And it works, but the problem is short term. Let me tell you another way we get those things. When we're children, remember, you come back and cry, "Mommy, someone beat me up at the playground." What will your parents do? Take one cookie. You give her one sweet. What naturally happens is that subconsciously, we start registering in our heads that if I'm upset and I'm crying and I'm sad, a sweet will help. A cookie will solve the problem. And that's how we build these habits. And so we get older, people transit from eating food to comfort themselves to now using things like recreational drugs. Some people use excessive exercise. They're always in the gym, over-exercising. There are issues underlying in those things. It could be shopping. Some people, and that's why they call it retail therapy. They just pick their husband's credit card. This man, I will show him. And then you shop. But you see, it creates a short-term relief. But the long-term effect is it could create financial problems for you. If it is food that has become your comfort source, for the short term, you feel good because your body releases dopamines when you eat. So there's a brief joy you feel, but then the high it crashes down, and then you go back again, and then you keep going back. And after a while, you are in a loop of eating and eating and eating. And most times it's sugary foods that you want to keep eating. So those are STIRBs, short-term energy relieving behaviors. So a lot of times that's why people are eating. So you're going to eat a meal, you've eaten your regular, then you need to ask yourself questions. So a lot of times people are masking issues. Another thing we do is we teach children to finish everything on the plate. The problem with that kind of attitude teaching is that after everybody has a self-regulator that lets you know when you've had enough. But when you keep forcing a child, finish it, you shut that thing off. And so there's no regulator to let you know, I'm full, I've had enough, stop. They don't know anymore. And so we grow into that habit of eating and eating and eating. So for me, STIRBs are very important. Like I said, I was in a grief class, and that was when my eyes were open, because part of the questions they asked us was, when you are feeling very low, when the reality of your loss, stares you in the front, how do you deal with it? Do you talk about it? Do you seek help, or you close it and cock it down with these short-term energy things? They work for a while, but they leave you more messed up and keep you in a cycle of addiction that you can't break from. So that's my own observation. Yeah.
Wow, Ada, thank you so much. I know you have a lot to say, but because of time, you just had to keep it short and simple. So, really, I think a lot of what you said, is amazing. What people eat, and I'm tying it to parenting and what we did when we're younger. And I think if people have conversations with themselves, or do a lot of reminiscing, or do a lot of self-research, it will help people to know, why do you eat? And I think the expert will tell you, eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full. So thank you for that, Ada. So let's hear from Ruthie the Prof, what do we eat and how does it affect our health?
Thank you, C, for that. You said, what do we eat and how it affects our health? Okay. If I start talking about what we are supposed to eat, there's a wide range of kind of foods and, to pick everything. So I'm going to kind of like categorize it into two things. There's a saying that goes like this. It says, eat more of what comes from a plant than what is made in a plant. So eat more of what comes from a plant, that's a plant you grow, than what is made in a plant. So in other words, what we are supposed to eat is to eat more natural foods, more pure foods, rather than processed unnatural foods. We live in a time where there's a lot of processed kind of foods in trying to keep foods to last longer, keep their shelf life to last longer. A lot of chemicals are being put into food. And so, there's a lot going on around that space. So if I want to just put it in a nutshell, I would say, eat more pure foods than processed food. Eat some more things that come from a plant than things that are made in a plant. The second categorizing I'm going to give before I start going into details is eat things that hydrate you rather than things that dehydrate you. The body is nearly 70% water. This body that we're seeing, you can't see the water, but is 70% water. Your blood flow, your functioning has to do with how your blood is flowing. And that is facilitated by the flow of water. That's the supply of water into your system. So eat things that hydrate you. And the number one thing that hydrates you is water. So drink a lot of water. Drink water to wash out your system. Really, it might not help you with weight loss, but it helps to keep your system, cleansed. Just imagine a loo that does not have water and a loo that has water. Use that picture and then imagine your system. If water is not flowing through your system. So you can imagine all the things that will be there. So it might not help with weight loss, but it helps to keep you clean. It helps to keep you healthy. So I'll just go through just some of the foods to eat. Natural sweeteners like honey or coconut. Don't use unnatural sweeteners, white sugars, processed sweeteners. There are natural sweeteners in nature. Honey is one very, very amazing one. It's not just a sweetener, it has healing attributes in it. They use it to heal wounds sometimes. So that's sweetener, that's something to have in your home, honey. And then you should also eat whole grains rather than processed grains. Instead of white flour, when you go to the market, you see all this millet, you see all this corn, make your own pap. Making pap is healthier than processed.
I had white flour, I had to laugh.
I know. We'll come there.
God have mercy on me.
Yeah, bread or banana.
Flours. You can actually eat your bread, but you can make the bread with whole grain flour. So you see all this wheat in the market. You can buy your own wheat and mill your own wheat and make your own bread. It's healthier than processed bread. I know it's very difficult, but it's difficult to eat healthy if you think it's difficult, but it's actually easier if you think it's better for you. So it costs more, it might cost you more, but it costs more to end up in the hospital. So they're natural juices, rather than processed chemicalized juices. So stick to the natural, stick to a lot of vegetables and fruits. So what I would just say is that fruit and vegetables, they are eliminating and cleansing foods. So we're talking about water cleansing. Fruits and vegetables also act as eliminators of toxins. So like a broom sweeping, just imagine a broom. So vegetables have a lot of fiber and it's like a broom, so they catch on to all those other things that can make your system really unhealthy. So, and they are also alkaline, so because we need a balance in our system, because we need a balance in our system, you have to balance between alkaline. Acidic foods are proteins and starches, and they are body building, but they have a lot of acid. So you have to balance it together so you can maintain that balance in your body, and then you will not have toxic buildup. And then, your system is going through, all that cleansing. So don't overburden yourself with too much of the details. But if you maintain these principles to an extent, you would be eating healthy. You would actually maintain a good health, and you'll be keeping away from the things that are bad for your body, and be tending towards the things that are good for your body. Because of time, I have to stop here. See, over to you.
Wow, Prof. Listening to you, if not that I know your career and what you do, I would have said you're a nutritionist. And it just shows that when we need knowledge, go for knowledge. Ruthie the Prof can read books, she can research. So a lot of these things that she's talking about, I know she practices them. God help the rest that are still struggling.
I like what she said. The picture stuck to my head. She said the vegetables are like broom, so they stick. And then the illustration about the loo and when you take water. Fantastic.
My dear.
That's beautiful.
That analogy is a powerful one.
Very. A word picture. I mean, that thing is in my head now. A loo without water. Oh my God. But in house things. Okay, Casey, the realist, realistically tell us how we eat and how it affects our health.
Okay, so see, this question, when it comes to eating, I'm not big on weight loss.
Because you're not fat.
I prefer to, maybe it's just my approach to life. While Bose was speaking, in fact, if you see the notes I took, you would wonder whether those notes came from a weight loss story. You would think it's maybe a business story or a life project story, because I believe life is about principles. So I'm not so big on weight loss because I do not necessarily like what's the word? I prefer preventives, than trying to gain and then lose it. So, and then the few times I tried some of the things I see people do out there, for example, there was a period I tried dejuicing. I think Ruthie would remember. In fact, a lot of acidity. Before I knew it, I was having pains in my system. I'm one person God really blessed with good health. You would rarely hear me say I'm ill, not because I'm wonderful, but I think it's just God's gifting, for me. And I was in so much pain that period. This juice mixed with, so I just stayed off some of those quick fixes. I live a very active life. If you ask me, I'd rather walk than take a lift. I'd rather walk than ride in a big car, not because I'm allergic to big cars, but because I think, you won't die if you just take a smart walk. And when Ruthie was talking about white carbs, I laughed because the only business I've not given expression of the things I love to do is bread, bakery. I love white bread. I'm trying to, it's a confession.
We know.
It's a confession.
Banana.
And but I'm working at, yes, I'm bananas, I'm working at replacing the white bread with chips. I snack on bread a lot because I also do a lot of mental work. When our guest today was talking about series, for me, it may not necessarily be series. There's one project to deliver, there's one proposal to finish. So most of the time I'm in front of my laptop, and the only way I engage myself, while my brain is doing all of the work, is to be throwing bits of banana, bits of bread into my mouth. So not necessarily, I'm not even so much of a food person. But I think that's, throwing in is something that, especially as one is growing older, if there was any time of my life I was very conscious, I know I was very conscious, was, during the pregnancy times, especially after my first baby, who was very big. And by the time I was having the second baby, I was extra conscious. The sodas were thrown away. The carbs were nowhere to be found, and our local therapy also helped. The Uda and the Uzizas, to keep, an internal clean system. Maybe that's what some of us call detox, So, and I believe it really worked. It really, really worked. It's something that I've been able to repeat today for many young women, especially those still within the childbearing season, to ensure that they keep a flat tummy. Also, I love to be an African woman. I love the curves. One of the things that also puts me away from all of the drastic weight loss things is when everything is now headed downwards. I don't like things heading downwards. I like everything standing, I love standing.
Yeah.
So when everything is now heading southwards,
the upper chambers, the upper
the African woman has her flavor, and that flavor is being curvaceous, right? So the right waistline, I still enjoy the fact that my skirts would be, the hip size would be ideal, but the waist, you would need to work on it to get it in a slimmer. I still enjoy that, So I think for me, that's been it. And then if there's any other habit I want to believe has helped me over the years, is also living a fasted life. COVID almost took that away, but now that COVID is packing its rug and carpet, of course, I'm going back to it, where at least 3 times within the week, it's off cooked food, at least with non-cooked food. Ruth already talked about plant extracts and all of that. So living a fasted life, living an active life at times, especially for the middle class, some of these our poses don't make sense. Walk. It doesn't mean you are poor, Take the staircase. You mustn't always take the lift. Live an active life. Eat, food, not necessarily baked things, and then maintain the weight, not drastic quick fixes. So I think that's it from my end, and all of us cannot be thin. All of us cannot be thin.
You can be healthy. Thank you.
I rap the African woman.
Yes, so
I rap the
right curve, the right curve to have and to hold.
So to have and to hold, to have and to hold is very important.
Hug handles.
No, not love handles. When you're talking about love handles, there are weights then. Smoothened, but the right curves in the right places. The love handles is Michelin tire. It means you have folds. I'm not an advocate.
But you see, it's usually some people think they can actually work on only the tummy, and weight loss is always general. It's the whole body. Because if you want to take that love handle away, you might even end up also losing the backside. That's depending on how you are built, because body structure.
But I'm not an advocate for love handles. I'm an advocate for a beautiful waistline and the right curves.
That's for you. You may not be an advocate for love handles, but some men love handles. So as long as you're healthy and you're keeping it fit and snatched, just keep it fit. But I like the way Casey ended. All of us cannot be thin.
All of us cannot be thin. And again, Cara, I really don't even think this is about anyone. This is not for anyone, right? health, weight, how you feel, how you look is primarily for you. I'm also not an advocate for it makes you look better, it makes you look attractive for one man. Start with you should have a feel good. It should make you feel good for you, first and foremost.
Yes.
If not, that's why you see some people modulate between today we are fat, next tomorrow we are slim, next tomorrow you're on one pill. You know, you're just, I believe that's also a rejection issue. Choose one lane and, you know, be on that lane.
Not necessarily, not always. Let me tell you why. So, sometimes some people's body makeup just happens that way. It's not because you're dilly-dallying or you're not trying your best to be healthy. Sometimes they're just.
What's up with Kara's networks today?
Hey.
Kara, don't worry, you will share your voice when we are ended.
Oh.
Okay, Kara, you might have. Are you back? You can turn off your video and then we'll probably hear you when you're speaking. Network is bad. Because Kara is supposed to share with us when you eat and how it affects your health, you know. So we really need to hear from her. But in the meantime, from everything we've shared, I just want to tell our viewers that, you know, there's a lot to do with research, you know, studying yourself. From what lepacious bose said and every other person, there's a lot to do with knowledge. There's a lot to do with understanding yourself and your body type. There's a lot to do with the habits you form over time. And I think the key point is there's no quick fix in this thing. So a quick fix could be a detox, which is just to start something, but there's no quick fix to having a healthy life. So it's a lifestyle change that everyone needs, and we need to study, you know, to get there. So while we're waiting for Kara to join us again, Kara, wow, and our time is kind of up. So if Kara joins us, she will share with us when you eat. But there's something you said, Casey the realist, and you know, from what I'm researching, it seems to be what a lot of people are talking about. So this thing about intermittent fasting, you know, and living a fasted life. For some people, fasting some days in a week. Some people keeping a particular window for eating every day, you know. So and I've seen people that is worked for. I mean, I can't talk about myself yet because I'm still on that journey, but you know, intermittent fasting, and it just goes back to the spiritual principles and all that. And you know what Ruthie said, what you said, everyone has talked about eating from nature, you know, and being disciplined. I think these are the things that we need to work on. And remember, today's show is about having a healthy life, you know, living a healthy lifestyle. It's not about whether you're fat or you're slim. So obesity is definitely a health problem. Being overweight is definitely a health problem. So if we abide by the principles of health, we would actually avoid, you know, being obese and all that. But it's a journey. And remember, lepacious bose mentioned it, that you should have the right circle of friends. So in shutting your mouth, apart from, you know, watching what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, there's also the aspect of what you say, really. And it was a very interesting point she made, how sometimes if you announce, oh, I'm on a diet, I need to lose weight, the same people that would start telling you all sorts of things will actually affect what you're doing. So it's not every time you share your vision with people, share with a few people, and then consult the
Very
experts.
important.
Yeah, Ada and Ruthie, anything to add before we conclude? Kara, you would have to do a video I'll post on our YouTube page. Internet has been this week in particular. Yeah. Okay. Another say, Joseph the Prof, Casey the Realist. Any more tips before we round up? Because we're rounding up now. I'm going to announce next week's topic.
Okay.
You can, yes.
I just want to.
We can actually round off.
Yes, no, yeah. I just wanted to say that that active lifestyle is very key because, you know, when we are built to work, our bodies are built to work. They're not built to stay one place. Because of technology, we're staying one place. So we need to do what our body was built to do. You know, there are different things. Even, you know, try and think about it and always do that. So my tips usually to keeping healthy is I walk, as I work out, I walk. Casey the Realist talked about it very well. Some people just feel you have to drive because you want to feel like you. I don't send anybody. I walk. I like to sweat. I walk.
You switch to Nigerian English. I don't send anybody.
And I watch what I eat. So watch what you eat. Keep your eyes on it. And then keep your mouth shut. Your eyes open and your mouth shut. You know, shut it to the size. So that's basically it.
Wow.
Okay. Kara, thank you, Ruthie the Prof. The 3 W's. You work, you walk, and you watch. Correct. Good one. Yeah. It's lifestyle. Kara, share with us as we round up how we eat. What are your recommendations on how we eat?
Okay, so sorry about that, guys. My network has just been acting funny. I think it's hungry. But anyways, you many times it's not how it's more like when you eat, yeah. So the most times people skip breakfast, and of course I'm sure we've heard it that breakfast is the most important meal in the day. And so the normal saying is eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a queen, and eat dinner like a pauper. So in breakfast, you can actually have an array, you can have a spray because you're burning energy all through the day. But then lunch, eat, but just be a bit more picky. And then for dinner, it's like a pauper. And then another thing that I would say about times is that people who tend to miss breakfast actually get to eat more in the course of the day. And then, so breakfast, very, very important. Try to eat between 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's really the best hours for you to have breakfast. And then lunch. And then even between breakfast and lunch, contrary to popular opinion, it's not necessarily how many times you eat. It's actually what your portion sizes are. So just be sure that you don't get hungry. So if you've had breakfast, you want to snack a bit between breakfast and lunch, that's totally okay. But snack sensibly on carrots. There's something Ruthie said, and it reminded me of another quote, and I think that's where I'll just, and there are a few more things, but because of time, I'll let us go. Something has, the healthier it is. So if an animal has 2 legs, like chicken, it's healthier than a goat that's got 4 legs. Fish that has 1 fin, let's call that 1 leg, is healthier than chicken that has 2. So the less legs, the healthier it is. So I'll just leave that that tip with us. And then my final tip is detox. Detoxing is the secret to maintaining weight loss. So if you've done all the head, take out 3 days, 1 week, depends on how much you want to do, and detox. And in that detoxing, you cut down on quite a lot of things. You just basically do fruit to maybe just juicing, and maybe on the last day, water. And before you know it, you're shedding off the excess weight, and your body will lose only as much as you want to lose. If you're slim, your body will not lose as much as someone who has a bit more. He knows exactly how much you want to lose. So yeah, thanks. I'm sorry again for the network.
Thanks, Kara.
Yeah, Kara, thank you. The network thing is a general problem, so it's okay. And thanks for sharing. Okay, but in rounding up, I wanted to say the powder room ladies, none of us is an expert nutritionist, none of us is a medical doctor, none of us is a weight loss expert. Everything we've shared are based on our research, personal experiences, and what we've heard from consultants. So what we'll say is, please do your research. Do what works for you, consult the experts that you need to consult, we're just sharing from our experiences. And of course, Lepacious Bose, thank you so much for joining us virtually.
Thank you.
Her video is there. Watch it again. And what she has shared is from her experience. And like she said, she consulted doctors, she had psychologists, she had neuropsychologists and all that. So please note that. So don't just take everything we've shared and go and start practicing immediately. Please do your research, study your body type. There's a lot of materials out there. And once you see that something is not working for you, you may need to, check again. So do not use another person's success story to judge yourself. You can use it to inspire yourself, motivate you to move, but let's take note of that. So time is up. We don't feel like going, but guess what? Remember, we had said there's one topic that is loading. Men don't fall in love. They don't fall in love. Do they swim in love?
Sorry,
do they jump in love?
See, can I say
What
something?
happens to them? Yeah. Yeah, Kara.
As we're getting ready for men don't fall in love, please go out and ask men. Just start gathering data for yourself. And take note of the interesting answers you're getting. Just ask them, do men fall in love? Ask men, do men fall in love? And just listen to what they have to say. So by the time you come for that edition, you'll be armed,
Yeah. Thanks, Kara. So please start doing your vox pop, start doing your research. Ask your brother, if you ask your father, he might not give you the right answer. So just ask anyway. Daddy, did you fall in love with mommy? He cannot stop you, they're an adult. So men don't fall in love. Is it true, myth or reality? You can bring your fork and knife to vote that day. But that's for the episode of next week. For next week, guess what? Powder room ladies want to go into, having something we call, Kara, did you want to say it for us? Because I'm not even sure how to shape my mouth to announce next week's topic.
She's dressed for it.
It's the cotillion. Get dressed, fascinate us out, white gloves on, pretend you're going to the Ascot game. It's the cotillion. Yes.
Cotillion. Thank God for Google and dictionary. The cotillion.
Yeah.
Fascinators to wear.
To fascinate.
Okay. I will look for Ankara for
and what? And white gloves.
Oh my God. So we're going to be the cotillion next week, Saturday.
Oh my God.
7 p.m. So if you join the powder room next week at 7 p.m. and you cannot hear what I'm saying, it's because I'm trying to speak like someone in the cotillion.
Yes,
okay. Thank you for joining us. And those of our viewers on Facebook and YouTube, you guys are the bomb. Please receive sanitized kisses from all of us. All of you were voting on the myth and reality and all that. That was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Thank you, guys. So we're going to look into the chat and see what we can do with rewards at the end of the season 1 of Powder Room. Okay, so that's loaded. So next week, cotillion. The week after that, men don't fall in love. Okay, so thank you for joining us. It was really great to have you. We overshot today, but hey. And special thanks to Lepacious Bose. You're a superstar. God bless you. And thanks everyone in the Powder Room.
Thank you.
All right, good night. See you next week.
Thank you for joining. Bye, sisters. Bye.
Bye, sisters. Bye, everyone.
That made you beautiful. Said it's worth that you were beautiful. And you were going places that you never dreamed. Said that you're the first, not the last. So don't believe those lies and those illusions. They're lies and just illusions. That made you beautiful. Said it in its worth that you were beautiful. And you were going places that you never dreamed. Said that you're the first, not the last. So don't believe those lies and those illusions. They're lies and just illusions. That made you beautiful. Said it in its worth that you were beautiful. And you were going places that you never dreamed. Said that you're the first, not the last. So don't believe those lies and those illusions. They're lies